Today I want to talk about 7 toxic habits that are stopping your growth and how you can fix them today. So we all have habits, right? Some good, some bad, and some sneaky ones that can really sabotage our growth without us even realizing it. Research shows that 40% of our daily actions are habitual. So that's a lot of our actions in a day, right? It's almost half of everything that we do. So what that means is those pesky little routines, they can make or break your success. So let's break down 7 toxic habits that might be holding you back, and more importantly, how to ditch them for good. The first one is procrastination. It's a silent dream killer. Have you ever told yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, only to find out that tomorrow turns into next week and maybe next month, right? And then you get to the end of the year and you're looking at your goals and you're really ticked off because your goals for the next year are the same ones that you had from the last year because you've just been putting everything off. So studies show that 95% of people admit to procrastinating. I'm one of those 95%. It's something that I have to fight and work on every single day. But chronic procrastination, it can lead to stress, lower earnings, and even some health issues. So how about that? So how do we fix this? You're going to want to break your tasks into small steps. So use the 5-minute rule and commit to just 5 minutes. And I promise you, you'll often just keep on going. So give yourself that 5 minutes and give it a shot. A second one is negative self-talk. So your inner critic is always on overdrive. I know mine is. So it's something I think we all have to fight every day. So if you wouldn't say it to a friend, why would you say it to yourself? Research from the National Science Foundation, they found that 80% of our thoughts are negative just coming out of the gate. Yikes, right? So how can you fix it? Try a rubber band trick. So put a rubber band around your wrist and snap it on your wrist every time you catch yourself being overly critical. It builds awareness and it stops the negativity cycle. So I've not tried that, but I'm going to because I think it may bring myself to some self-awareness and also make me be present about what I'm doing and thinking at the current time. And that's really important. A third one is comparing yourself to others. So social media, it makes it so easy, right, to compare ourselves with all of this behind the scenes and someone's, highlight reel. Because they're only showing you the good things. They're not showing you all the rough parts and all of the bad things that are going on in their life. But did you know that comparison, it increases feelings of depression and lowers your self-esteem? And that came from the University of Copenhagen in a 2017 study. So how do you fix that? I think you know what to do here. You need to limit the mindless scrolling and practice gratitude for your own journey because your life is your own. Everyone's living their own lives and you may be jealous or would love to have the lives that a lot of these social media influencers have. But maybe sit back and think about what's attractive of them to you and why you're having that jealousy or that desire to have what they have. And then put it as a goal and create some steps to get there instead of just comparing yourself and making yourself feel so bad about where you are. Because everyone starts, sometimes at rock bottom, oftentimes. So everyone starts somewhere. So think of progress greater than perfection. I don't believe perfection exists. And for all of these social media influencers that are out there, their lives aren't perfect. They just don't talk about it. A fourth one is fear of failure. So success, oftentimes it gets blocked by our brain and our brain chemistry because we just fear failure and we try to stay in our comfort zones, right? So failure isn't the opposite of success. I know that sounds crazy, and not that you want to set yourself up for failure, you want to set yourself up for the best situation. But when you think of failure in a more positive light, as being almost putting yourself out there to really test yourself, it gives you so much information. A study from Harvard Business School found that learning from failure increases that long-term success rate. So we have to take risks sometimes in order to learn or put ourselves out there in order to grow. When we stay in our comfort zones, none of that's happening, and that's why we are stuck where we are. So how do you fix it? Let's reframe failure as feedback, as information. What are we learning from the things that we're maybe failing at right now? And just keep going. No one successful got there without any setbacks. Most successful people that talk about their stories, some of their situations were a lot less, inviting as where you are today. So take advantage of all of the blessings and all the gifts that you have, and just reframe your mind to, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to try, and I'm going to use my failures to learn to be better. A fifth area is overcommitting. It's the fast track to burnout. I'm so guilty of it because I say yes to way too many things. I put myself definitely on overload a lot of times, and it's just straining, right? It puts you on that stress overload. So the American Institute of Stress reports that 77% of people, those that regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress. So when you say yes to too many things, you're setting yourself up for failure. So how do you fix it? You have to learn to say no sometimes, or at least say, let me check my calendar, let me check my schedule before agreeing to anything. Your time is precious, and you need to start using it for improving yourself and making sure that you're doing all of the things that are important to you first, and then you can help everyone else when you have some extra time. A sixth area is waiting for motivation. I will tell you from a lot of years of experience, motivation is never coming. I don't wake up motivated in the morning. I have to have some discipline and put a schedule together. So motivation is fleeting. Discipline is what keeps you moving when you don't feel like it. How many of us feel like doing half the things that we have to do in the day? We just don't, right? But research from the University of Chicago, they found that people who take action first often build motivation later. So how do you fix this? Let's act first, feel motivated later. I promise there's so much momentum that builds as you go. And when you just get started, you'll be surprised of all that you can do. And last but not least, number 7 is holding on to toxic relationships. I know that we've all been there, and we have many people, or maybe one person that we can point out that is just toxic, purely toxic. The people around you influence your success. Studies show that having negative people in your life, it increases your stress and lowers your performance. And that's according to the University of Michigan in a 2015 study. So how do you fix it? Surround yourself with growth-minded people who uplift and inspire you, and people that maybe have common hobbies, common interests, things that you're interested in having really great conversations with. So sometimes it's not necessarily the people in our circle, and we need to find and bring in some additional people that can understand us, because they are either where we are, or maybe they are in a better place, but they started out where we are, and they can give us a lot of advice on how we can take the steps towards the goals and the dreams that we have. So might be a time for a detox, right? Growth doesn't happen overnight, but small intentional changes, they will lead to massive transformation, I promise. So which of these toxic habits would you see yourself wanting to break out of first? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. I'd love to understand, some of the things that are going on in your lives that you're trying to overcome. And if you're looking to up your discipline muscle, download my free ebook, Discipline Made Simple, 5 proven steps to transform your life in the next 30 days. I'll put the link in the comments and the description below. So if you found this content helpful, please consider sharing, please consider subscribing, and thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video.